Today we're diving into fall craft your stash projects with creative home decorating ideas to inspire your fall home decor. Welcome to the Chic Show. Today's playlist is hosted by Tasha, Joanna, and Tawanda. This is a piece of canvas that I recently found at a church garage sale, and it was already made like a pillow, so that's exactly what we're going to do with this piece. I'm just going to iron out any wrinkles, and then I'm going to be using the Sunflowers stamp from IOD. It is best to use a little bit of sandpaper or sanding sponge to sand over your stamps before you use them. It just helps the ink stick better. So I've inked up my stamp, and I'm using the largest one in the center. IOD stamps also come with a mask for each of their stamps, and that's so that you can layer things and have certain flowers look like they're standing out in the front, certain ones in the back, and that's what I'm doing here. So I'm adding a stem, but I put that mask on so that that stem didn't go up onto my flower. Now I'm adding a leaf, and now with that mask still in place, I'm adding another flower, and you'll be able to see how it layers here. And then I'll use one more flower. And all I did for this pillow was pull this right down over one of my existing pillows. I didn't even hot glue the bottom of it because I knew I would have another smaller pillow in front of it. I have had this piece in my stash for a while. I got it half price, so I got it for only $1. It is solid wood. It does have these little appliques on the front. I'm just going to paint over them. I probably should have sanded them off because this did take several coats of paint. I'm using milk paint on this project as well, and this is in the color mustard. As I said before, the first coat of milk paint, you just want to get it on there, and then you can build on that with your other layers. After I have about 3 coats of this, I am going around the edges, not the center part, but the edges with that Fusion Antiquing glaze. This will bring out and highlight any of the crackles that I got with the milk paint. That center part, we are adding another paint inlay. These pumpkins are from that same paint inlay set from last Christmas, and I did trace around the center of this piece so that I could cut out my pumpkins to fit right in the center. And that fits perfectly. I'm going to do the same process with the liquid patina. Spritz my inlay and lay it down into that paint, spritzing it with more water and dabbing up the excess with a paper towel. I also decided to add these 2 pieces from that same inlay booklet. Of course, I did the same process and set it aside to dry. I won't make you watch the whole process again, but I did the same thing, and now I'm just pulling those transfer papers away. You'll see I had a little bit of trouble with the one on the right. Maybe I should have sealed it before I put the inlay down because it did pull up some of that paint. In the end, I decided not to worry about it because I had already sanded around the edges and everything, so having a little bit of that wood peek through is okay and gives it more of that aged look. And paint inlays in and of themselves are not perfect, and that's part of the joy of them. They're really beautiful, and they help really give you that vintage look. After spray sealing it, I did decide to go back over everything with that antiquing glaze once again. Thrifted these 3 oval pieces of wood, but I think they are from Dollar Tree, and I cut them at different lengths. Also used my sander and flattened out the top just a little bit. Now I'm going to be using these 3 colors by DIY and painting each one of my what are going to be pumpkins in those colors. And I'm using these little cedar pieces that I had in my stash as well. And I'm going to stain one of them darker, one of them lighter, and leave one natural. These, of course, will be my pumpkin stems. I wanted to add a little bit of depth to these pumpkins, so I brushed on a little bit of that antiquing glaze by Fusion, and then I went back with a wipe and kind of wiped it back, and it looks a little bit aged as well as a little bit textured. And whatever I didn't like, I just used another brush and brushed on more and wiped it back till I was happy with it. I used Titebond Quick and Thick to attach my stems to each of the pumpkins, and then I used a clip to hold them in place until they dried. Once those were dry, I used Titebond again to adhere my pumpkins together. To embellish my pumpkins a little bit, I just tied together some raffia, cut it down to size, and then glued it to the top of each pumpkin. So that my pumpkin would stand up, I used a larger Jenga block and glued it to the back. I hope these fall craft your stash projects gave you some fresh home decorating ideas to bring cozy charm to your fall home decor. I hope you'll like this video and subscribe for more inspiration. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and on my website at lachiccshop.com. For more fall inspiration, be sure and check out our host channels and the playlist in the description box below, or watch this video right here. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic. Bye now.